Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Hey everyone, Nick here and welcome back to GamerJoob, and welcome back to our Five Nights at Freddy's character concept series. So in today's video, the character looking into is Santa Freddy. So we'll go into this character's location, backstory, gameplay mechanics, and all that good stuff as well. As always, I will just state that everything I say in these videos isn't necessarily into the overall universe and lore of Fnaf. This is just a fun what if scenario and a cool creepy story we get to tell, and we hope you enjoy. And lastly, before we start today's video, do be sure to subscribe to GamerJoob as it helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. Also, do be sure to leave a like as it helps out this video a lot and it gets more eyes on the content and spreads our Fnaf stories out to a lot more people. Alrighty everyone, well, let's get into the character concept of Santa Freddy. So previously in our Five Nights at Freddy's character concept series, we've been taking a look at the Fazbear Repair Center. This is the place where all the damaged animatronics would come in for repair. But as of late, things have gone incredibly wrong. The animatronics have gone haywire and morphed into frightening, nightmarish creatures. Our two main characters, the repair worker and the night guard, have been fighting for their lives day and night. But now we come to our next character to come in for repairs. And this character was quite the special one. So the next character we're introducing is Santa Freddy. Santa Freddy is designed after the famous bear himself, Freddy Fazbear. In fact, all of his animatronic friends back at his pizzeria were based on the original cast. There was a Bonnie, a Chica, and a Foxy as well. But the difference was they were all Christmas themed. Now of course, these weren't the original animatronics. These were just lookalikes for a specialty Christmas pizzeria. Although the workers have said they tend to have the same mannerisms as the original cast. So this pizzeria is called the Christmas Kingdom Pizzeria. So this was a specialty pizzeria that was only open from November to the end of December. It was completely Christmas themed with all the Fazbear gang dressed up in Christmas attire. And out of all these characters, the most popular of course was Santa Freddy. All the guests loved Santa Freddy. They would even take photos of all the children as they sat on his lap and told Santa Freddy what they wanted for Christmas. But as of late, Santa Freddy has been looking worse for wear. His fabric skin was all worn and dirty, and his mouth would stay in the open position, leaving a creepy look on his face. The children were starting to fear Santa Freddy, and some of the younger children would cry and refuse to sit on his lap. So the time had come to send Santa Freddy to the repair center to get freshened up and restored to his original jolly self. So on that day, the repair worker found Santa Freddy's delivery crate in the back dock. Another animatronic sent in for repair? They didn't even know this was coming in today. How are these even arriving at the repair center? They haven't seen the delivery driver in days. It's almost like they disappeared into thin air. And it was almost like these animatronics were just appearing out of nowhere. But despite all the crazy things that were happening at the repair center, they still had a job to do. So they hauled Santa Freddy into the repair room and got ready to get to work. The first thing that needed to be done was to replace those eyes. They looked a little faded in color and could use a replacement. So the player needs to carefully remove Santa Freddy's eyes. Okay, so now that's done, it's time to fix that jaw mechanism. The pizzeria complained about the jaw being stuck in the open position, so all that needed to be done was to adjust the mechanism in the back. But just as the repair worker does this... the power must have shut down. Not to worry, it should be back up in no time. What on earth happened? Where did he go? He was just here and now he's gone. The repair worker had finally had enough. They didn't even care anymore. Too many strange and bizarre things were happening in this place and they didn't want a part of it anymore. They know that if they go and try and find him, they'll just endanger themselves even more. Especially after they were trapped underground with the possum party. They didn't want to get into any more danger, so they packed up all their things and went home for the day. As they made their way through the back, something unexpected happens. All of a sudden, the delivery truck comes sliding out of nowhere. It's been completely flipped over and it's now blocking the exit. What could have done this? Immediately after, that question is answered. What has happened to Santa Freddy? Why did they look like this monstrous beast? They didn't have time to find out why, as the Nightmare Santa starts moving towards them. But before we continue any further, let's hear a word from our sponsor. Are you a creative and curious person? A lifelong learner or a beginner? A pro or a dabbler? Regardless of your learning level, Skillshare is for you. And the good people at Skillshare would like to give our viewers 1 free month of Skillshare by using the link in our description or pinned comment. With the new year almost upon us, there's no better time to learn a new skill for your profession or hobby. With thousands of courses at your disposal covering almost nearly every industry, there's bound to be something new you can learn. For instance, one thing in particular that I wanted to improve is my human characters in our character concept series. So far they've been silhouetted characters, and I'd love to give them more personality and detail. So I took the course labelled Create Simple Flat Vector Characters by Jonathan Lamb. In this course I learned the basics of creating a human character and how to properly proportion their body and facial features. The course was much more in depth than I expected, but was also presented in an easy and digestible way with multiple simple steps. So whatever different skill it is you'd like to learn, you'll definitely find it here on Skillshare. Once again, use the unique link in our description and pinned comment to get this awesome offer for 1 month free at Skillshare. Alrighty, now back to the video. The repair worker quickly runs down the hallway to get away from this abomination of an animatronic. They quickly lock themselves inside the break room and try to hide. They should be safe here, or so they thought. Nightmare Santa comes crashing through the doorway of the lunchroom. The repair worker hides as they see this monstrosity search for them. If they just stay quiet and still for long enough, surely Nightmare Santa Freddy would move on. After a little while, that's exactly what he did. He grew tired of searching for the repair worker and decided to move on to the night guard instead. Finally, the repair worker was safe for now, but the night guard was definitely about to be in danger once again. So now let's get into the gameplay segment of the video. As always, the gameplay loop is based on the classic Fnaf formula of observation and management. So Nightmare Santa Freddy wouldn't have a starting position on the cameras. He would always be waiting in and around the security office. The only way the player would be able to know if Santa Freddy is nearby is by listening out for his Christmas theme. This would alert the player that he's close by and is about to enter through any of the doors. Once the player sees him, they would need to close the door immediately. But sometimes if the player isn't quick enough to close the door, Santa Freddy can use his immense strength to hold the door open. The player needs to repeatedly open and shut the door to slam down on his hands. Eventually, Santa Freddy will let go and the player can close the door. Sometimes Santa Freddy will approach the door but not play his Christmas theme. Sometimes he'll just be waiting in the darkness. The player would know when he's about to strike when they see his glowing red eyes. On some rare occasions, also when the player sees the nightmarish Santa Freddy in the doorway with no eyes, they wouldn't need to panic. At this, they would soon realise that this wouldn't be an attempt to enter the office. Santa Freddy would just be staring at the player and then disappear. But most players wouldn't realise this and close the door anyways, essentially wasting the power. But the player would need to keep up with all these attempts to enter the office, because if they don't, they'll get greeted by a classic Fnaf jump scare. So I think that Santa Freddy would be a great addition to the Repair Center's cast of characters. It would be fun to see a different variation on the classic Freddy Fazbear, and also creepy to see something so jolly and innocent turn into such a monstrous creature. Here's hoping that this Santa in particular doesn't come down the chimney anytime soon. Alrighty everyone, well that's what we have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting and subscribing. It helps out a lot and it's greatly appreciated. As always, do be sure to comment down below what you thought of Santa Freddy and what you'd like to see going forward. Alrighty everyone, well until our next video, I'll catch you later, bye.